When we gaze at the night sky, we often wonder if we're alone in this vast universe. But what if the evidence of other intelligences has been here all along, hiding in plain sight, encased in the very foundations of our Earth? Tonight, we dive deep into one of the most perplexing mysteries that conventional science refuses to acknowledge: technologically advanced objects discovered embedded within rock formations dating back millions of years. Consider this. In 1961, 3 individuals discovered a peculiar object while fossil hunting in the Coso Mountains of California. What appeared to be a simple geode revealed something extraordinary when cut open: a metal core with what resembled a spark plug or some mechanical component surrounded by a porcelain-like casing. The rock itself? Dated to be over 500,000 years old. Yet our history books tell us humans only discovered electricity in the 18th century. How do we explain such contradictions? The gatekeepers of accepted knowledge would have you believe these are mere coincidences, misidentifications, or outright hoaxes. But when similar discoveries continue to emerge across continents and cultures, one must question: coincidence or conspiracy? In 1912, employees at a power plant made an astonishing discovery when breaking apart a large block of coal. Inside, they found a metal cube clearly showing evidence of intelligent manufacture. The coal seam from which it came allegedly dated back 60 million years. This was not some natural formation. The perfect angles and symmetry defied random chance. The edges were sharp, the sides perfectly smooth. Who or what created this object at a time when, according to mainstream archaeology, not even primitive humans had evolved? The list grows more bewildering. A gold chain found in a chunk of coal from Morrisonville, Illinois, dated to 260 million years ago. Metal spheres with 3 parallel grooves circling their equators, discovered in a South African mine in Precambrian rock 2.8 billion years old. A metal tube excavated from 65-million-year-old Cretaceous chalk in France. These artifacts challenge everything we've been told about human evolution and technological progress. They suggest one of 2 equally staggering possibilities: either humans or human-like civilizations existed on Earth far earlier than we've been led to believe, or non-human intelligences visited our planet and left behind evidence of their presence millions of years before our recorded history began. The establishment dismisses these findings, burying them in obscure academic journals or museum backrooms. They claim these objects must have been modern items that somehow became embedded in older materials. Yet the scientific analyses tell a different story. Many of these artifacts show no signs of modern manufacturing processes. Some contain alloys and materials that we struggle to reproduce even with today's advanced technology. Ask yourself, why the systematic dismissal? Why the reluctance to seriously investigate these anomalies? What paradigms would crumble if the truth were acknowledged? The implications reach far beyond archaeology. They strike at the very core of our understanding about who we are and where we came from. They challenge the linear model of technological progress that forms the backbone of our historical narrative. They suggest cycles of advancement and destruction that the powers that be would prefer remain hidden. In 1889, workers drilling through rock near Nampa, Idaho, discovered a small figurine at a depth corresponding to 2 million years. The carefully crafted clay doll showed every sign of human manufacture. Yet according to established anthropology, no humans existed in North America at that time, let alone humans capable of creating art. In 1921, an odd mechanical device was recovered from a mine shaft in Oklahoma. The mysterious object resembled a modern capacitor, yet was found in rock strata dated to over 300 million years old. Independent examination confirmed the object wasn't a natural formation, but something manufactured with precision tools. The material composition defied identification using the technology available at the time. These discoveries don't stand alone, they form a pattern spanning continents and millennia. At some point, the sheer number of these anomalous findings forces us to consider whether the anomaly lies not with the objects, but with our accepted timeline of history. What if Earth has hosted multiple advanced civilizations throughout its long history? What if catastrophic events, asteroid impacts, magnetic pole shifts, or global floods periodically reset the progress of intelligence on our planet? The geological and archaeological record shows evidence of numerous extinction events. Perhaps some of these weren't entirely natural, but the result of technological hubris civilizations that, like ours, pushed the boundaries of their capabilities until they triggered their own demise. Consider the ancient texts that speak of advanced civilizations destroyed by cataclysms. The legends of Atlantis, Lemuria, Mu dismissed as myths by mainstream historians, yet curiously consistent across diverse cultures, with no known contact between them. What if these weren't mere stories but fragmented memories of actual events, passed down through generations, growing more symbolic and less literal with each retelling? Geological evidence suggests Earth has undergone numerous catastrophic changes throughout its history. Major extinction events, rapid climate shifts, and massive geological upheavals would erase most traces of previous civilizations. After millions of years, little would remain except perhaps the most durable artifacts like metal objects embedded in stone. The deeper question becomes, if such civilizations existed, were they entirely human as we understand ourselves? Or could they have been something else, visitors from beyond our world, or perhaps entirely different species that evolved intelligence on Earth before mammals took center stage? In 1998, researchers examining a particular stratum of rock in Antarctica found microscopic structures that appeared to be nanotechnology, tiny spiral-shaped objects made of metals not found naturally on Earth. The rock layer dated to approximately 120,000 years ago, well before any human civilization could have produced such advanced technology. What makes this discovery even more perplexing is that creating such structures requires manufacturing capabilities we've only developed in recent decades. How could these exist in ancient Antarctic ice? The researchers who documented this finding soon found their funding cut and their careers sidelined. This pattern of discovery followed by suppression repeats itself with disturbing regularity. Those who challenge the established narrative often find themselves marginalized, ridiculed, or worse. Why such resistance to exploring these anomalies? What threatens those in power about the possibility that our timeline of progress might be fundamentally flawed? The control of historical narrative is among the most potent forms of power. Those who determine what we believe about our past effectively shape how we understand our present and envision our future. If we believe technological civilization is a recent development, we remain dependent on current power structures for our advancement. If we discovered that advanced knowledge has been repeatedly discovered and lost, we might begin to question why certain technologies are suppressed today. Let's examine another case that defies conventional explanation. In 1991, gold miners in the Ural Mountains uncovered a collection of tiny spiral-shaped objects made of copper, tungsten, and molybdenum. The smallest measured just 1/10,000th of an inch. The layers in which they were found dated back 100,000 years. These microscopic coils contained ratios of elements that suggested intelligent design rather than natural formation. Their purpose remains unknown, but they bear striking resemblance to modern nanocomponents used in advanced electronics. Or consider the London hammer, a modern-looking hammer encased in rock dated to the Cretaceous period, over 65 million years ago. Metallurgical analysis showed the hammerhead was made of 96.6% iron, 2.6% chlorine, and 0.74% sulfur, an alloy unknown in modern metallurgy and supposedly impossible to create using ancient technology. The wooden handle was partially turned to coal, indicating its extreme age. When we piece together these disparate findings, a different picture of Earth's history begins to emerge. One of cycles rather than linear progression. Advanced civilizations rise, reach technological heights, then collapse or destroy themselves, leaving only the most durable evidence of their existence. After millions of years, these artifacts become anomalies in the rock record, dismissed or explained away because they don't fit our preconceived notions of history. But what if these aren't anomalies at all? What if they're fragments of a truth too paradigm-shattering for mainstream science to acknowledge? This brings us to perhaps the most disturbing question. If such advanced civilizations existed in Earth's distant past, what caused their disappearance? And are we heading toward a similar fate? Many of these artifacts suggest technological capabilities similar to or exceeding our own. Yet something caused these civilizations to vanish so completely that only the most durable objects remained, eventually becoming embedded in stone as the epochs passed. In 1968, during the excavation for a building foundation in Ecuador, workers discovered unusual artifacts in a stratum of volcanic ash dated to approximately 12,000 years ago. Among these were perfect spheres made of granite and quartz, with precision that would be challenging even with modern machinery. More incredibly, some contained tiny holes drilled through them, with no signs of tool marks, a feat we can accomplish today only with laser technology. Nearby lay metallic objects that appeared to be star charts or navigational tools. Metallurgical analysis revealed compositions including aluminum alloys that require electrical processing technology, supposedly not developed until the 19th century. When independent researchers attempted to study these objects further, they disappeared into private collections, effectively removing them from scientific scrutiny. This pattern of evidence followed by obfuscation raises troubling questions about who controls our understanding of history and why certain discoveries are systematically marginalized or concealed. What if the truly advanced technology isn't merely creating sophisticated tools, but rather achieving harmony with natural systems? Perhaps previous civilizations developed technologies so seamlessly integrated with nature that they left minimal evidence of their existence. Their downfall may have come not from external threats but from the same technological hubris we exhibit today, the belief that we can manipulate planetary systems without consequences. In the deserts of Egypt, peculiar artifacts known as the Saqqara bird have been discovered. Objects resembling modern aircraft complete with wings, a vertical stabilizer and a fuselage. Conventional archaeology dates these to approximately 2200 BCE and dismisses any aeronautical resemblance as coincidental. Yet when replicas were built following the exact proportions and tested in wind tunnels, they displayed remarkable aerodynamic properties. Similar aircraft-like models have been found in Colombia, Costa Rica, and Venezuela, some dated to over 1,000 years ago. Gold trinkets that resemble delta-wing aircraft, complete with what appear to be cockpits and vertical stabilizers. When analyzed by aeronautical engineers, these objects were found to be aerodynamically sound designs that would function if scaled up. What if ancient peoples weren't merely creating abstract art or religious symbols, but documenting actual flying machines they witnessed, or perhaps even created themselves? The deeper we look, the more we find evidence challenging our assumptions about prehistoric knowledge. Ancient megalithic structures around the world demonstrate mathematical precision and astronomical alignment. The Great Pyramid of Egypt, Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, Puma Punku in Bolivia, each contains elements that defy explanation using the conventional timeline of technological development. But perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from the ancient texts themselves. Accounts from India describe flying machines called vimanas, with technical details about propulsion and navigation. Ancient Sumerian tablets speak of beings who came from the stars and shared advanced knowledge. Aboriginal stories tell of a time when humans could communicate directly with the creative forces of nature. Are these merely myths and legends, or could they be degraded technical manuals and historical accounts, their true meaning obscured by time and translation? In 2002, miners in South Africa discovered metallic spheres with 3 parallel grooves around their circumference, identical to those found decades earlier in the same region. These objects were embedded in Precambrian pyrophyllite dated to 2.8 billion years old. The spheres are perfectly balanced, contain a substance harder than steel, and when rotated under certain conditions, appear to defy gravity slightly, exhibiting properties we associate with gyroscopes or inertial navigation systems. Scientific analysis has shown these spheres are not natural formations. Their balanced mass, perfect roundness, and precisely carved grooves indicate intelligent manufacture. Yet their age places them in an era when, according to mainstream science, not even the most primitive bacteria had evolved on Earth. Who made these objects? What purpose did they serve? And most importantly, why is their existence not common knowledge? The answers lie beyond the boundaries of accepted science, in realms where few researchers dare to venture. Those who do risk their professional reputations, their funding, sometimes even their personal safety. The gatekeepers of conventional knowledge protect their paradigms with remarkable vigor, not through open debate and examination of evidence but through ridicule, marginalization, and sometimes outright suppression. As we stand at the precipice of our own technological revolution, artificial intelligence, quantum computing, genetic engineering, we would do well to consider the lessons these ancient artifacts might offer. Are we truly the first advanced civilization on this planet? Or are we merely the latest in a cycle that has repeated itself countless times over millions of years? The stone holds secrets. The rocks remember what our history books have forgotten. In layers of sediment and mineral, the true story of Earth's past awaits those brave enough to look beyond established narratives and ask the questions others fear to ask. The next time you hold a stone in your hand, consider this. You may be touching a fragment of Earth that once witnessed technologies far beyond our own. a silent observer to civilizations risen and fallen, preserved in the eternal memory of rock. The truth doesn't fear investigation, only lies require protection from scrutiny, and somewhere embedded in ancient stone the evidence continues to wait, patient, immutable, undeniable for humanity to finally accept the reality of its forgotten past.